Hello there everybody, this is Kristen. Welcome back to Crochet Witch Tarot. And today we are back with a tag on this very rainy, cozy, fall feeling day. It is magical. Today I wanted to do a tag that I've seen a bunch of other YouTubers that I watch doing, and it is the All About Tarot 2022 tag put out by Simon from the Hermit's Cave. Now, I love this tag. I love the idea of kind of documenting how your tarot practice and views on tarot, how you use tarot, can shift from year to year. At least I'm pretty sure that's kind of the point. So maybe there will be an All About Tarot 2023 and 2024. That's what I'm guessing. Anyways, I just thought this tag was really fun and I've been loving watching them, so we are going to try our hand at it as well. And I love questions like these, don't you? I don't know. Don't we all love talking about decks? Anyway, let's just get started. So the first question is your first deck and how you encountered it. So my first ever deck was the Cat Tarot. This one right here. So oh my gosh, it is so beat up. I didn't know how to shuffle at all when I first started reading tarot. I used to do this horrendous thing where I would drop the cards on the floor, like drop them, and then do this, and then shove them back together. It was chaotic. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. It worked. I mean, it worked. It very quickly shuffled cards, but if you like to keep your decks nice, I don't recommend. Anyways, this... Ooh, we've got an interesting glare. This is, as I said, my first ever deck, tarot or oracle. I didn't actually get an oracle deck for quite some time. This was the only deck I had for a very, probably not long comparatively to some others, but for me long. I got this deck back in 2019. Now, I vaguely knew what tarot was from my friend Rachel, but I had never gotten a reading, seen a reading, really had barely even saw cards aside from my small amount of Googling I did when she was just kind of mentioning it and mentioning that she read tarot. So I saw this deck in Barnes & Noble, I believe. It was one of the few decks they had at the time. I mean, I'm sure, again, it used to be probably even less, but I feel like now when you go into a Barnes & Noble, there are so many tarot and oracle decks, which is really cool. So it was one of the few decks that they had in stock there, and again, I just kind of, my interest was slightly piqued, but I had no idea what this all was about. But I saw this deck. Where's the box? Oh, there it is. And all I knew is this cat on the box looked just like my cat Stevie. Looks just like my cat Stevie. Down to the little mittens. I mean, it's spot on. It's spot on. Hopefully, maybe I'll remember to like insert a picture. Stevie. Although, I've shown her many a time because she likes to be nosy. And so, it was a little bit impulsive. But I bought the deck just, again, because I was like, you know what, Rachel's talking about this. It seems interesting. Kind of want something to do. I had just gone through a really, really big transition in my life. I moved into this little house all by myself with Stevie, and I'd never lived on my own before, so I kind of was nice to be looking into something to do that I could do by myself, since, again, I was spending so much time on my own for the first time. So I picked up this deck having no idea what tarot really was, no idea how to read the cards. All I knew is that the cat looked like mine, and we sort of just went from there. I started doing readings for myself. I would shuffle, and I started by pulling one card, but we very quickly just jumped right into three, and heavily relied on this little book, and then I also had I used the Biddy Tarot website. That's what I used to learn, and I would do a reading for myself and a reading for Stevie every single day, which is exactly why this deck, to this day, is her deck. She's here to say hi now, actually. Do you want to show how you look similar? What do you think? Doesn't she look like the cat on the box? Come on. Spot on. Alright, you may go. So, that is my first ever deck. Now, the next question is your last deck and how your tastes have changed since your first. So, the latest deck that I have brought into my little collection I have is the Druid Animal Oracle deck, which is gorgeous. It's by Philip and Stephanie Cargam and illustrated by Will Worthington, who is the same illustrator as the Wildwood Tarot. So I have already gone ahead and trimmed the borders off. I've got the extra cards, so it used to have this white border around as well, but I have trimmed that off. So this is the latest deck I have brought in. And I think it's interesting because I started with an animal deck, and we have really stuck heavily to the animal decks. Animal energy is something I've always very easily connect to and been very drawn to. I've always loved animals and feel like I can relate to their energies really well. And so in that sense, my tastes haven't changed that much. We started with an animal and we are back around with animals, although I have very, very heavily shifted to animals in my natural surroundings, not cats. Funny enough, I actually don't think I have any other cat decks because I love this one so much, but also I just find it really hard to connect with other cat decks. I think because I am so surrounded by the cat energy all of the time, it doesn't feel like something I need to kind of add in more of. So as much as I wish I could have more cat decks, they just never seem to work for me. So my tastes have changed in that way as well. I've tried to have other cat decks because I love cats, but none of them have stuck around. And so my tastes have changed in the sense of when I'm looking for decks, I really love ones that show images that look like my own natural surroundings. You know, if I'm looking outside in my backyard, it feels like it's not so outlandish to see this. And more of a, like woodland natural energy to it, rather than, you know, something like a cat, which would be right inside your home. So I use my cards a lot of the time to relate to outside rather than inside the home, if that makes sense. I don't know. But that's the latest deck. Next question is, why tarot? I love that question. I did not pre-plan my answers for this, and maybe I should have done that. Why tarot? I really loved from the start how immersed you can get into the worlds that different decks build. So I only had the cat tarot again for some time, probably a year or so, and then started exploring some more decks, and immediately I just fell in love with how through different imagery and different interpretations of the cards, it felt like being put into this whole different world. Like if I'm reading the cat tarot or this universal Celtic tarot, I'm in two different places, which is really, really fun and fascinating to me. But I also love tarot because it's kind of this, it felt like this at-home way to help myself be more introspective and dig into feelings I really needed to dig into and just reflect. Because sometimes it's hard for me to kind of sit still and focus enough in order to really work through certain emotions or pinpoint why I'm having them. And tarot is this physical object, this physical picture that really grounds me into that one card I pulled or however many cards I pulled, and gives me something to focus on and to look at that kind of keeps me still for a moment. And I think that's what I really love about tarot. It provides me these moments of stillness that I was not able to get otherwise from anything else, which is really, really interesting and very cool. Also, you know, aside from looking at it from the perspective of when I was just learning to read tarot, even now, this whole community that has been built around reading tarot and loving tarot and tarot decks, or, you know, not loving a bunch of tarot decks, whatever it is that your preference is, there is this really cool community that has been built around that, and I've made so many cool friends and just gotten to talk to so many people that I never would have if I didn't start reading tarot. And it's a weird thing to think about, that if I didn't, you know, randomly buy the deck just because it looked like my cat, life would be very different now. It's very interesting. Next question. Tarot pet peeves. Well, okay. I guess we just showed one. Oh my gosh, can't get this out. I don't like excessive borders. We've got 2 there. 2 whole borders. And I don't have a card to show, but the Fairy Forest Oracle I trimmed down. There were 3 borders. I don't mind borders, but one is satisfactory. Like, this looks really nice. Down to 1 border, it's like a little frame. Love it. Love to see it. 2, too much. Too much. So that's a pet peeve. Do I have any others? Can I think of any others? I'm blanking. I don't know if anything that I would truly call a pet peeve. Pet peeve, I feel like, feels very specific. The borders is a big one, and luckily I can fix that. So it's not that bad. And I do love trimming decks. It's very relaxing. So if anything, we say thank you to the Druid Animal Oracle for giving me that experience. I don't know. Okay, I think that's my only pet peeve. We will move on. Favorite tarot spread? Oh, I don't know. So I don't tend to use them very often at all. Most of the time, my polls are me asking, what do I need to know? Like, my morning polls every single day is, what do I need to know today? And however many cards want to come out. However many oracle cards, tarot cards, they're all coming to the party, you know? So I guess that question is my favorite to ask. What do I need to know? What do I need to know today? When it comes to tarot spreads, I really love making my own. If it feels like I have a very specific thing I want to look into, I will often make my own spreads for myself, which is fun. But some of my favorite spreads that I have pulled for come from Dawn Michelle at Boho Tarot. Every Sunday in her Boho Tarot Facebook group that I believe anyone can join, she posts a new spread, this kind of like weekly reflective spread, and I look forward to those every single week, and I love pulling cards for those. Whether it's actually on Sunday or like this week, it will probably be Tuesday. Which is when I'm filming this right now, because as I'm saying this, I realize I did not do that one, and I loved the one she did this week. We're gonna do that this evening. But that's my long answer to favorite tarot spread. Your preferred tarot system is definitely the RWS. That's that. Tarot rituals. So I feel like I have a few. My morning poll is very ritualistic, which again helps me have that moment of stillness. It gives me routine, which is also something that I did not have before tarot and is very helpful for an ADHD brain, is to start my day in a standard set way. Like I do it every single morning. So my morning poll routine consists of, I light an incense stick, I have a candle that I light before I pull my cards, and I usually have some sort of cleansing spray. I get my coffee, and this is after getting coffee, it is the first thing I do. Then I pull my cards, and then I take a picture to put in my tarot journal, and I will journal about it before blowing out my candle. So that is what I do pretty much every single morning, which again is just really helpful for me and a good way to set my day in this like very expected, standardized way. Other rituals I have is not every single day, but every few days I will do a fairy card pull, so I will commune with the land spirits or fairies around me. I also pull weekly cards now, which is a new thing as of the last few months, and I've been loving it. So Monday evening is my time to do it, and I will journal about the cards I pulled from the week before to kind of reflect on how they showed up throughout my week, and then I will pull new cards for the upcoming week. So that's a little ritual as well. Anything else? I've started shuffling 7 times. I don't think it would bother me if I didn't, but again, it's helpful for my brain that tends to wander when I'm doing repetitive tasks. So counting to 7 keeps me focused on what I'm doing, what question I'm asking. So that's my tip of the day. How do you use tarot? Oh, all sorts of things, endless ways. I use it as a way to set up my day, reflect on my day, in very introspective ways. I use it when I'm feeling overstimulated, to ground myself and to get a grasp on what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it, because when I am feeling overstimulated, it feels like my brain is just short-circuiting, so reasoning things out like that for myself is not easy. I use it to talk to ancestors, to connect with animal energies, fairies. I use tarot to connect with my spirit guide, to do some deity work that is new to me. There's probably more ways and I'm not thinking of it, but those are the main things I can think about. So I use tarot for many things. Any sort of practice I have, I'm using tarot, because again, it's helpful for me to have the tangible object and thing to look at when I'm reasoning out or reflecting. So I'm using the cards for pretty much all of the above. Next question is your Significator card and why you feel it represents you. So I have 2 that tend to show up. And the first is the Fool. Now this is from the Universal Celtic Tarot, and come on, I had to bring that out. Is that not the best? So the Fool comes out a lot to represent me, specifically when I'm going through a period of time where I don't feel like myself. My actions aren't reflecting who I really am. Stuck in this place of just not feeling like me. That's when the Fool comes up to kind of remind me, you know, hey, like, you are this risk taker. You are willing to try new things and not be afraid to mess up. Just a lot of the positives I feel about myself, because a lot of the times when I don't feel like myself or am not acting like me, it's because I'm getting bogged down in perceiving certain habits of mine or certain ways that I am as a negative. So I feel like the Fool really represents me, again, because I am often walking off cliffs, not not really nervous about what's gonna be on the ground when I step off, because as someone with ADHD, I make mistakes a lot. And, you know, it's easy to see that as a negative thing, but it, in a way, having it make me more like the Fool card is this really wonderful thing of I can go outside of my comfort zone pretty easily because I'm not nervous about making a mistake. I'm used to that feeling. I've become accustomed to it and I accept that feeling. So I'm not afraid of making a mistake or owning up to making a mistake or having someone else realize I've made a mistake, you know? That's happened my whole life. So, you know, what is it to me, really? So that is a really cool thing, and why I feel the Fool comes up to represent me a lot, to remind me of that little superpower I feel like I have. Now, the other card that comes up more generally to represent me is the Page of Wands. And kind of similarly, I feel it comes up to represent me because I love trying new things. I really like doing. And I am someone who jumps around from task to task or activity to activity. I will have like 3 different activities going at once and like switch around within the same hour kind of thing. And to me that feels kind of Page of Wands energy. Because I feel like I've got a lot of creative doing energy, but a lot of the times harnessing it doesn't come so easily. But again, it's kind of about the willingness to try new things and to adventure a little. So that is my other significator. So the next question is most expensive tarot acquisition. Now I'm pretty positive it is this one. My Victorian Romantic Tarot. Because I did get the larger guidebook that you can get with this deck. So, you know, that made the total price of the deck, I would definitely say, my most expensive. So this is, again, the Victorian Romantic Tarot from Baba... Did I just say Tarot? Tarot from Baba Studios. And these decks are just gorgeous. It's one of those where, you know, they are expensive. She was a pricey gal. But she is a piece of luxury. You know, it's like you hold these cards and you're like, this is the height of luxury. In all seriousness, they are beautiful cards, beautifully made. You know, you can feel the price that went behind it, but it is most certainly the most I have spent on a single deck. And we love her. We love her for it. Do we? Maybe. We do love her, though. Alright. Next question is what is your unicorn deck? The deck that's so hard to find. Now, I don't really feel honestly like I have one. Usually when I see a deck, realize it's out of print, I stop my looking there because I don't want to, if I can't just kind of just get it, then I don't want to, you know, give myself the frustration, because I know I would just get frustrated. I feel like maybe at one point it was the Victorian Fairy Tarot that I did end up coming across because I was patient. But as of now, I don't really know that I have one. I would say the closest would be the Hidden Path Oracle, or there's the other one it's different but the same. But I know that one is super impossible to find, so again, I've not heavily looked into it because why taunt myself, you know? So it's not, I don't keep it, you know, on any sort of list or anything like that, because I know it's hard to find, and I know if I were to get, you know, the option to buy it would be just way too expensive for me personally. So I don't really know that I have a unicorn deck. Usually when I see something and it's out of print, so I can't get it, I just try and find decks that are in print that give me the same feeling and kind of satisfy that way as much as I can, which has worked. So that's that on that. And what's the most important lesson that tarot has taught you? The most important lesson. What a loaded question. I think for me it goes back to the routine. I did not know, I've never had a good routine for myself. Routines are hard for someone with ADHD. They're hard to maintain, so that's not something I've ever done until tarot, like I said. And so I think the most important lesson that tarot has taught me is how much having a routine around something that I love and making time to do something I love every single day really sets such a tone for myself and stabilizes in a way that I have not experienced before, and allows me these moments of natural stillness. So that's been really cool. And I guess on top of that, tarot has also taught me to more fully accept and, what's the wording? The only thing I have in my brain is make arrangements for myself, but that sounds weird. To work with my brain rather than against it. Because a lot of the times I try and push myself to do things, you know, the quote-unquote normal way, the way everyone else is doing it, when that doesn't work for me. And I think through my work with tarot, I have really learned that it's okay to do things your own way and make accommodations for yourself to do what works for you, because that's going to be way longer lasting, way more manageable. So I think that's my answer. I don't know, I feel like after I'm done filming this video, I'm gonna think of so many more things. Because I feel like there's many lessons that I have learned. But that's a big one. Okay. Oh, are we on the last question? We are! Tarot dinner party guests! Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Okay. Tarot dinner part... I can't speak, I got so excited. Tarot dinner party guests. 1 guest of honor plus 2 other guests. What did I just do? Oh my gosh. Okay, alright. Who's my guest of honor? I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick. I have to. My tarot dinner party guest of honor would 100% be Holly Audley. I love everything she does. Her as a human being, she is so nice and genuine and caring, and just the things she does beyond tarot are so amazing. I just feel like I'd be able to talk to her for hours and have so many questions. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I have all of the above decks from her, because again, I just love what she does. So that is my guest of honor, and my two other guests would be Kara Simons who is Joyful Residence, who made Prairie Majesty Oracle and the upcoming Song of the Grandmothers. She just has such a beautiful energy to her, and again, so genuine and down to earth and kind. And her decks have also been really impactful for me. She would be so nice to have at a dinner party. And then my last guest would be, I know her first name is Linda. I want to say I don't know her last name. Ritter, maybe? But Linda, who created the Northern Animal Tarot, which we know is my deck. My deck of all decks is my copy of the Northern Animal Tarot, and again, also is such a nice person. I love all of my interactions with her. Very genuine, and just really, you can feel that she cares, and it comes through her artwork and the decks she puts out. You can really feel how much she puts into them and how much she cares about them. And I also really care about her deck. So I think that would be really fun to get to talk about it with her. Yeah, that would, oh my gosh, could you imagine? What a fun dinner party that would be. What would we have? I don't know. I guess I'd have to ask what they like. Anyway, that was the last question. So I will link down below Simon's original video, which was such a joy to watch. I love all of his videos. I think he is so wonderful. Okay, other than that, I'm so excited. These kinds of questions make me so happy. I love talking about this kind of thing. But other than that, I think that is all for today. So, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.